Imagine this. More than 30 countries, powerful, developing, rival nations, all quietly focusing on one city. Not a global capital, not a financial hub. Hargeisa. A city the world officially does not recognize, yet increasingly cannot ignore. So what kind of geopolitical domino effect pulls nations toward the same place at the same time? Tonight we uncover why Hargeisa has become one of the most watched cities in East Africa. Hargeisa, once overlooked, is suddenly on the lips of diplomats and investors from Washington to Beijing. For decades, it was the self-declared capital of a nation the world refused to officially acknowledge. Now, convoys of foreign officials and business leaders crowd its streets, each seeking a stake in Somaliland's future. Over 30 countries have sent delegations in just 2 years, drawn by Hargeisa's newfound strategic value. Why the rush? The answer lies in global instability, fragile supply chains, Red Sea insecurity, and a desperate search for reliable partners. Hargeisa, at the heart of Somaliland, offers rare stability at a critical maritime choke point. Its location has turned it from a diplomatic afterthought into a key player on the world stage. For years, Somaliland's story was one of quiet persistence, building a state in the shadows. Now, the world's interest is driven not by justice or democracy, but by hard-nosed strategy. Hargeisa is a geopolitical hotspot, not by choice, but by necessity. The city's sudden prominence is a dramatic break from its past isolation. The world has finally noticed Somaliland, but for reasons its people never expected. In this new era, Hargeisa is no longer waiting to be recognized. It is being courted for what it can offer. For decades, Somaliland's foreign relations were discreet, conducted in hotel lobbies and back channels. The world clung to the idea of a unified Somalia, keeping Hargeisa at arm's length. But between 2024 and 2025, everything changed. The trickle of visitors became a flood. Trade missions, security experts, and investors arrived in droves. The language shifted from aid to strategy. Logistics, security, and commercial interests took center stage. Nations scrambled to secure influence before rivals could. This wasn't about recognition, but about access and leverage in a volatile region. Somaliland's stability made it a low-risk, high-reward partner. As one country engaged, others rushed to follow, fearing they'd be left behind. The US deepened security ties, Europe eyed migration and trade, and the UAE doubled down on investment. Even Israel and China saw opportunity in Hargeisa's rise. The era of quiet diplomacy was over. Competition had begun. Somaliland was no longer a diplomatic footnote. It was a strategic prize. Look at a map. Somaliland's 460-mile coastline hugs the Gulf of Aden, guarding the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. This choke point is vital. A third of global shipping passes through, linking the Indian Ocean to the Mediterranean. Recent crises, pandemics, canal blockages, and Red Sea attacks have exposed the fragility of global trade. In this context, Somaliland's stability is gold. Its coast guard keeps waters secure, while its government delivers peace and order rare in the region. For global powers, Hargeisa is now a pragmatic partner for securing trade routes. Somaliland's location and stability have made it irresistible to nations seeking reliable allies. Its coastline is no longer just geography, it's leverage. Somaliland's economic promise became real with the transformation of Berbera port. A $442 million investment from the UAE's DP World turned it into a major regional hub. The port now connects directly to Ethiopia, offering the landlocked giant a vital alternative to Djibouti. This shift broke Djibouti's monopoly and redrew the Horn of Africa's economic map. Berbera's success signaled to the world that Somaliland was open for business. Major investment forced others to take notice, or risk being left behind. With further projects planned, Berbera is now a magnet for global interest. The cranes over the Gulf of Aden have lifted Somaliland's profile and its future. Hargeisa is now the arena for a modern great game, fought with deals, not armies. The US seeks security and a counter to China, deepening ties without formal recognition. The UAE's investment in Berbera cements its economic influence, making Somaliland a key node in its trade network. China, wary of secession but eager for access, quietly courts Hargeisa while backing Mogadishu. Europe, led by the UK, is drawn by maritime security and migration concerns. Each power moves carefully, seeking advantage in a region where alliances are fluid. Somaliland's unrecognized status is no barrier to this competition. The stakes are high, and the players determined. The Ethiopia-Somaliland Memorandum of Understanding, signed in early 2025, was a geopolitical earthquake. Ethiopia offered recognition in exchange for port and naval access, a move that shattered decades of diplomatic inertia. The MOU accelerated international engagement, forcing other nations to act or risk being sidelined. For years, the world insisted on a unified Somalia. Ethiopia's bold step changed the calculus overnight. The agreement legitimized direct, high-level engagement with Hargeisa. It turned a silent scramble into an open race for influence. For Somaliland, it was a breakthrough, proof that strategic assets could deliver political gains. The deal provoked outrage in Mogadishu, but fundamentally altered the region's dynamics. The old rules no longer applied. The MOU's impact rippled across the Horn of Africa, upending old alliances. Somalia's government saw its authority undermined as foreign powers flocked to Hargeisa. Djibouti, long Ethiopia's trade lifeline, faced economic shock as Berbera rose. Eritrea, Egypt, and Turkey recalibrated, wary of Ethiopia's new access and the shifting balance. The region's alliances hardened, driven by interests, ports, security, and commerce over old loyalties. The Horn is now more transactional and multipolar than ever. Hargeisa, once peripheral, is now central to the region's future. The map has changed, and so have the stakes. Hargeisa's surge in global attention doesn't guarantee formal recognition. Legal and political barriers remain, with powers like China and Egypt opposed. Yet, de facto normalization is underway. Over 30 countries are now engaging directly. Economic and security ties are blurring the line between recognized and unrecognized. For Somaliland, this brings both opportunity and risk: investment, jobs, and growth, but also the danger of becoming a pawn in great power games. The challenge is to manage foreign interest on Somaliland's terms, ensuring benefits reach its people. Hargeisa's moment has arrived, reshaping the region's geopolitics. The world now treats Somaliland as a state in all but name. The final chapter is unwritten, but the story has changed forever. Hargeisa's rise is a lesson. Global shifts often begin in the most unlikely places. If you want serious geopolitical analysis grounded in facts, not noise, subscribe, because the future is already forming.